we dey talk to civil society organization dem we get concern outside dem call on government for publish the tribunal report on the suspended Auditor General Lara Taylor Pierce and in Deputy Tamba Momo. For can talk on this particular issue at this time, I dey welcome Abubakar Kamara, the National Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, 98.1, and good morning, me fellow Sierra Leoneans.
Okay, so on this particular issue, if people remember, inside November 2001, allegation may come out on professionalism, misconduct, and breach of confidentiality, where we get for do with the Auditor's General report, and for sake of this, be make Lara Taylor Pierce and Tamba Momowena in deputy be go under suspension. And in line with this issue, government be set up a committee for investigate this particular matter. Well, from that time to now, 2001 November, how this matter day, how far they don't go with the investigation, and we know the current situation of this particular issue that make ban with other civil society organization 50-50 sludge, and other one them don't pull a press release outside and say from 2001 to now, then for they will come with a conclusive report on waiting the committee for not on the investigation where they may do with the then Auditor General, when Lara Taylor Pierce and in deputy. We know some of the concern we ban get sludge and 50-50 group inside the program you go know this morning. But before we look at this particular joint press release, also on the urge government for come out with the tribunal report of findings. Let we listen and viewers them know. I mean, ban one people we can talk on the issues of finance and economic status in the country. So far, which you will say in line with that, because now that more people believe in abandon focus, though only they do other things. Later now we'll dive into this particular issue we there for.
Well, ban a network of international and national organizations. We comprise of 7 institutions. We get Christian Aid, we get Action Aid, we get NMJD, we get CGG, we get Transparency International, we get Talking Drum Studio, and we get Wabin. And ban is formed under the 3 principles of the budget, which are transparency, accountability, and participation. And the main aim why we form ban now for ensure we use the budget as a tool for all government accountable for that they will provide service delivery. But we work is centered around the 4 stages of the budget process. When are the enactment, execution, monitoring, we get auditing. So all work we're going to do is mainly centered around them 3 tiers. And we they use evidence as a means for engage public officials them, and would also provide alternatives in terms of where we think some of the government policies need to work and out of work. So they will generate the evidence and provide alternative suggestions them what we engage government with. So one of the niche of work is using evidence for advocacy, while at the same time we try to protect the aspect of transparency and accountability around how public officials they manage the people's resources.
So in line with in the area of transparency, accountability, what will be your assessment so far on how government officials don't they manage the funds?
This is a very broad question. Let me first of all, probably since this go for deal with audit, generally what they talk for boss, one of the institutions then in this country after the war, we don't really reform now the audit office, because we wouldn't know over the past years them they go them 4 or 5 years and they put this report, and we need to put this report in order more comprehensive. So in terms of our assessment on transparency, it's a bit broad.
Okay.
But generally, before this suspension of the Auditor General, we don't see tremendous progress in terms of how the institution don't transform, don't help for whole, people are accountable. And in fact, now one of the institutions we don't help for also uphold democracy in terms of financial accountability. Democracy need to strive where we not get proper accountability. And financial accountability is very much key for democracy to strive, especially where it go for deal with providing resources, who to provide services for the people of Sierra Leone, especially the ordinary people of Sierra Leone. And mind you, the people who rely more on government service like the ordinary citizens.
And you think that they get the service as it is expected for learning get up? Is it affordable and accessible at the moment?
Then a whole thing for talk about, because if we take, for example, education sector, we go to health sector. Again, and they also link them to the audit, the work they do. For example, the recent audit report they don't do. Then provide a number of lapses. See, for example, the hospitals then. A number of basic things they will lack in the hospitals them, where citizens are supposed for access when they're sick. Because the northern citizens, if they're sick, they're not going to have resources for going to a private hospital. We pay 2, 3, 4, 4 million. Now then, government services they use. So the audit work what they do, it also help for probing that particular side there. And we don't see the quite recent reports where they mention, for example, some hospitals don't get basic equipment to them, some hospitals and then they don't get basic drugs them for letting them able to do their work then. So we are a long way in terms of really improving services. Though we also want to organize some effort has been made, but we still get a long way for going in terms of addressing. So audit, one of the work they do, it also help for provide the information to government, to public, for letting aware that these are the services that we're lacking, and these are the things that we government need for address. So therefore, audit accountability is one key component in terms of promoting democracy and accountability, and even in terms of pushing for effective service delivery.
All right. Over the past year, BAN, one of the organization, we don't raise concern anything with the audit, report come on. And over the past year, audit service don't pull the audit reports now do, and most time people will say nearly the same things them years after year don't they na the audit report. Now, from the civil society point of view, you think say anything don't change years after year we audit service alone they pull the reports now do?
Some things they don't change, but not to the extent that we really feel say if there. We don't see some actions then we government don't take for address audit accountability. So therefore, from the policy wise, we don't see some amount of actions, and we don't see they don't form audit committees them and the ministries them, and there's also an overall audit committee for the council where they look at audit issues. We don't see, for example, look at Government Act, they don't count a component where they look at audits specifically. We don't see they don't do the standard operating procedure where they look at how for address the recommendations them. All of that happens from the policy wise. But from the practical perspective, for now, we really see the impact of all of the policy as well. We really not see the impact it, because we don't continue to see the audit report year in, year out. Same issues there. In fact, some time and the issue they even become more worst. So likewise, from the policy front, those documents they don't put in place, but the actual impact on how it help for address the audit issues them, that really not reflects it.
All right. So what does this mean for accountability and transparency if every year the audit reports they mention one green thing, like money where the where ministry department and any agency they're not able for show document for?
It means say the people's resources is being lost. The people and money not become well accounted for. It means say the people and resources where for them help for provide services. The people need to get that services because the resources do not utilize and the way they're supposed to utilize and for me the citizens they receive services them, whether education, whether health, they need to receive them. So therefore, citizens then are the people who they mainly lose in them case they are so. Because now then they get the services they're supposed to get because of the accountability aspect will not become so strong for all the people accountable so where they manage the people, the government of Sierra Leone. I mean the people of Sierra Leone, the money them.
So in line with that word, people and money loss, people can rather say the right or appropriate word for use are misuse.
Well, then they are no book. They say that semantics play with words, but the fact of the matter is the citizens they lost services they're supposed to get because of the action of some public officials when they will help for accounts for some of their resources.
Okay, as you don't to highlight on the issue of transparency and accountability and also how much service delivery day so far, Abubakar Kamara, we na National Coordinator Budget Advocacy Network, will come to the real reason and purpose we make you there inside the studio. Also see a joint press release come out from Una. Also una the demand a swift judgment following the conclusion of the Auditor General's Tribunal. Before we look at this stage we reach now, it go very importantly we listen and view them know how we reach this stage for a set of civil society they demand a swift judgment on the status of the then Auditors General report or investigation where they do. Take we listen and view them through.
Firstly, not to then, she's still the Auditor General. Now suspend or suspend her.
But she's not in
The
position
one where
at the
they
moment working.
act. I mean, they call it acting on the general. So, instantly, the substantive Auditor General, it just they on suspension. Now, coming back to your question, since the 11th of November, we didn't suspend Auditor General. The country was in shock by then, and we see a number of institutions and even will condemn this act. Civil society, professional bodies, them, for example, we get the CAL, we get IGL, we get 50-50, CAN, Legal Aid, SLAGE, even ICASEL, even international press release and come out from AFOSAI, when like the audit institution would look at Africa, we get the NTOSA, like the UN body around. A number of them, including BAN and other institutions, condemn the act. And there are two messages where most of them press release they go with. One, condemn the act and talk about the implication we get in terms of audit accountability. And secondly, calling on the president for reverse that decision day. And of course, over the past months, they don't see a number of press releases don't come up again. So His Excellency the President then set up a tribunal. We then inaugurated the tribunal on the 6th of December 2021. We then suspended on the 11th. Of course, the tribunal not sit the first sitting, where we sit now the 1st of March, that we are talking close to 3 to 4 months after we then suspend the original. Of course, that first sitting we will follow, we know say the tribunal not be prepared by then. There was a lot of issues there, a lot of logistics issues there. The second sitting will be the 7th of April. Again, nothing will be happened. The third sitting at the 3rd of April 2022, nothing will be happening. In fact, since the 11th, we didn't suspend the November 2020, we didn't suspend the General, apart from the broader allegation, we didn't say professional misconduct, the states all able to come up with case in June. We are talking about almost 7 months after we didn't suspend them. So we don't see a number of delay in the whole trial process, where now we are talking about around 28 months now since they suspended the general. So of course, then committee go on, both the states and the suspended auditor general and deputy don't present the case. The state don't present the case, and they don't close the case last year in December 22. So that is where we are. And we be to observe the process as the process will go along. So when the case closed on the December last year, we wait January, following for the judgment, following deliver. We wait February, we wait March, and now we are in April. Even though the charges not to criminal charges, but we get section 23(6) of the Constitution. We say after they don't close the case and we do one for judgment, within 90 days, then for them come up with a judgment on that. And now we are going close to 4 months. Okay. And this gets serious implication around the dispensation of justice in Sierra Leone. Because when you delay justice, there are a couple of things. One, it derail the citizen trust. Secondly, it gets huge implication around accountability. And mind you, this organization will come together, who pull this press release, we all get a common goal. Okay. We have to promote accountability in the dispensation of justice. Right. We're in a 50-50, where we get SLAGE, we get win a ban, then we get the Institute of Legal Research and Advocacy for Justice. We come together and say, it's almost going to 4 months. All right. Let's ask the government and the people of Sierra Leone, let also know that this now be one of the most, now be a, they can call it say public interest case.
Okay.
And if you don't take that long, we'll not see them deliver judgment where the case be don't close. So we need to ask questions.
Okay.
And we need to call on the leadership
Okay.
for let them provide we a judgment on this particular case here. So
All right, you just explain about on a position and together with other organizations. But for somebody we don't know, what really happen will lead to Lara and in deputy then suspension.
the press release where State House be pulled, where they suspend the Auditor General and Deputy, then we mention say professional misconduct. And of course, we don't know the details. Stay from November 2021, the details not come up to the public. This is where Slash again will come out very strongly that citizens forget access to the information on why they suspend her, apart from the border perspective. Of course, at 10 June 2022, they come up with the details. There were 10 issues them where the government bring. But of course, now only one government count evidence. You know that was denied, they know the court, the tribunal not look at them because government not count evidence on that day. And the main issue where the tribunal looked into, now the aspects where the office of the Auditor General contact a third party that the accusation with government give, contact a third party when we for deal with hotel receipts for confirm. So the accusation here is that enough for them contact a third party without seeking the permission of the client. And the client in this case, now Office of the President. And audit service, as per law, they get rights for audit all government institutions, they include the Office of the President, and beyond it happened over the years, and again it still continues to happen. So in the process of doing the audit, there was a concern around hotel receipts, where the Office of the Auditor General contacts the hotel for authenticate that receipts there. And the charges against the Office of the Auditor General, the charges against the Auditor General and Deputy is that they never don't contact that third party at the hotel without the consent of the Office of the President. So now these are the charges where the tribunal look into, where we the wait now for let the tribunal can tell we whether it's right or they're not right. Because now they get the responsibility for telling them whether the Auditor General act in the rightful way or they're not acting in the rightful way. So therefore, we call on them respectfully for let them deliver the judgment to the people of Sierra Leone. Because the people of Sierra Leone, they're anxiously waiting. They wait for the judgment on this particular issue as well.
All right. Now, they wait for the tribunal for letting explain whether waiting them Lara do and in deputy not the right way. But waiting the law say in terms of investigation, where audit service they do, we get for do with document. Is it that then suppose for contact the third party or the person where then things not produce the right receipt?
For now, we on focus. Now for later, we asked the tribunal for let them tell we whether Lara and deputy they act according to the law or they don't act according to the law. So now then get the mandate for tell you a particular one day. Mind you, all of this to do so now for protect democracy, now for uphold the principle of accountability. And mind you, all of the states and where they improve in terms of service delivery, one of the principles we don't uphold are the principle of accountability. The level of development of a country depend on the level of accountability. If we get very weak accountability structures and systems, then absolutely we will get serious challenge for a lot of progress.
Okay.
So we do this one for a couple of reasons. Number one, now for precedence. Already on we on side of state now press release and Boko organization then, I have very bad precedent who don't be set. And one of the reasons why we exist is for all government officials and accountable respectfully, including Slash and the other organization then where we be part of this press release. So we on major concern for now is we ask respectfully the tribunal. It's almost 4 months after they don't close the case. Let them bring to the people of Sierra Leone the judgment on this particular issue also.
All right, Mr. Kamara, I want to go assess audit service salon den work since Lara in deputy left.
You know, public trust don't affect the work. We see, for example, the last audit report, when there not be audit up to the president, they audit them, and the explanation from audit, they not be meet the threshold for let them bring issues into the general's report. What are the public outcry? No, that made them sack Lara. So, and when we lack public trust in a very key institution like that, it will serve as a platform for let corruption strive. So we even point here is that accountability is key, and therefore, in the dispense of justice, we would also ask for accountability and transparency.
Okay.
And would swiftly ask the tribunal for let them deliver judgment to the people of Sierra Leone on this particular issue also.
Well, in case you just join me, inside this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon, we studio guest today, Abubakar Kamara, National Coordinator, Budget Advocacy Network, where they are for raise other concern them with other civil society organization they get for let government publish a tribunal report on the suspended Auditor General Lara Telopias and in Deputy Tamba Momo. Excuse me. And on the raise concern them. Now, on they call for a swift action for Lona see what come out of the investigation, Mr. Kamara. But earlier, when you look at this whole process of this tribunal, one we know start quick, then set them up inside November and not start stay March. Too much preparation of the day. People would wonder if the process not be swift and well prepared, how would they expect a swift report for come out on this particular issue?
Well, we not go comment on Dande for now. When we don't comment on the process, that there was delays in the process, not preparation not be made well. There was delayed, tremendous delay, almost 7 months.
So one swift judgment, we're already from the initial stage of this whole
Well,
process.
the case
there
don't
has been
close.
challenges.
The case don't close from December 2023, and we are going close to 4 months now for one charge where they look into. And the more you delay justice, the more it cause a problem where citizens will lost trust in the judiciary.
So in line with the process, a very important level listen and via them know waiting will be banned and the other set of civil society organization the assessment on this whole tribunal process on the follow up this process. Now one way be transparent.
Firstly, the process they not be prepared well.
Okay.
We don't see they set up the committee in December 2021. They inaugurate them in December. I mean the 6th, and the tribunal not start till until March. Almost 4 months when they suspend Lara. Where it really not fair. And we see the first 3 sitting them, there was not much preparation. And we don't see tremendous delay in the whole process. So for we concerned for now is that process don't pass.
So you're not going to tell whether it was transparent or not?
No, the process was open. There were some challenges at the start in terms of media access and all this, but the process was open. Now be open, now open court process. But we concerned for now is the case don't close. We want to let them deliver judgment. Mind you, this here also get effect on women.
Now you don't make on a position concerning waiting on one foresee. Waiting this mean, if we continue for the get then kind issue here on people we suppose for all government accountable.
It gets a lot of implication on financial accountability, on women then who are aspire for various positions then. It get implication on even the aspect of access to information. Overall, it gets implication in terms of the fight against corruption. Firstly, we don't see government make some strides in the fight against corruption. where ACC they do and other institutions them. And the Office of the Audit Service, now one of the institutions again will contribute towards the fight against corruption. So if we see they suspend an Auditor General in the process of being in work for professional misconduct, it gets a whole lot of implication around citizen trust, around how do we ensure we uphold the aspects of financial accountability. And when we get down there, it provide an opportunity for corruption for stripes. And of course, the one that will suffer more when we get corruption, now the ordinary citizens there, because now then will be deprived of basic services them, like water, health, education, and the rest of it. Of course, it also get implication as the matter, they almost the for being as a matter of precedence. And one of the implications we will get is citizens will being lost trust. And we don't see in the past audit reports, just because there were no issues around the office of the president, citizens and passive now say, now because they suspend the Auditor General, so the current one of the act is afraid for probing more. And we need citizen trust in all of them processes there also. Of course, around the aspect of women, we decide to promote women, we get the gender law where they don't pass, we try for promote women economically, politically. If women will decide to aspire, they see some of them see how would happen. It will create fear among them. Especially when we don't get so much delay in the process, and now the tribunal don't be concluded. We also don't begin to see delay in the delivery of judgments. It got negative implication in terms of motivating women them who really want to aspire for higher political or professional position or public service. In all of this, we want for ensure say we also support for let democracy thrive. And for let democracy thrive, there is a need for accountability. As I mentioned earlier, any nation we're ready for strive, the principle of accountability is going for all very family. So that everybody, irrespective of the profession we do, you will be accountable for your actions. Especially those that would relate to providing services and accountable for the public resources. So we, the organization, we come together, we demand fit say we need for ask, raise a voice on this issue because it's very much important. It's about protecting the people's resources. It's about ensuring that the institution get the free will and the citizen trust be very high up there. Already, citizen trust don't begin to be affected because of these actions. Okay. So even if the current administration they do well, the citizen trust go up, go derail. And mind you, all the work all the services do now for the people of Sierra Leone. Okay. Because they want to ensure say the government officials they will be responsible, they manage the resources well, so that they will provide service to the people of Sierra Leone. If the people they provide service for don't get some amount of mistrust, it's going to affect the whole process of itself. Okay.
Now, you just mentioned about the bad implication there with this could cause to the country. But over the past year, international body them, one thing they can look for now some of them small accountability, transparency, and the rest. With them kind of situation there, it gets any implication again where it will make international body them begin watch Salon one kind.
Absolutely. We be the follow also again within the app internationally when they suspend Lara. And we also don't see how we also don't affect with direct budget support in a saloon. We don't see, for example, EU, where them don't go to one camp, they not come again. Now they don't begin to discuss for let them come. So it gets implication on that particular aspect there. And mind you, audits, especially the implementation of the recommendation, now one key aspect where World Bank they look into for let them determine how much funding they will provide for saloon. So if the institution, the office were responsible, we don't see the leadership be suspended in the process of doing this work, it gets implication in terms of that particular one day. They go and call the CPIA. The more action you take in implementing the audit recommendations, the more points they get, would they make it they get more funding from, for example, World Bank. And we don't see, on the policy-wise, government put a lot of policy in place for address the recommendations there. But of course, the implementation wise, now they want it to block there. But coming back to the suspension of Lara from that particular point there, we don't say a lot of international organizations don't condemn the process. And you need to send good image for we as a country internationally in terms of how the executive they handle the operations of the institution.
Okay, so why in this issue, Mr. Abubakar Kamara, on Lara in suspension, the things we want to see from the international angle, governments don't get any clue of that?
Well, me know the talk for government here. I don't know why, but we own focus here is we want for protect democracy. We want to ensure that in the budget cycle we get 360 accountability, and one of the last stage of the budget cycle now auditing and monitoring. So one for ensure so we get 360 accountability from that perspective. And if we see the office, the one where they head the office, mind you, let me say this. This is not about Lara and Momo. It's about the Office of Audit Service. How we will ensure say that they will operate in a way where they will operate from a very independent manner, in a way where there will be no fear in the process. Again, as I mentioned, the citizen trust is key in all of what audit services do. So it's about how do we ensure that we protect democracy, we protect financial accountability, and we ensure, say, going forward, we have an audit office where go do the work freely without no fear in terms of how they carry out their operations. And we want to ensure, say, this precedent really let it not happen again.
So in line with ensuring that the audit service able to do the work in a free space, what you would say about the current acting deputy? You think, say, looking at all the scenario where they happen on this case of Lara Taylor Pierce, you think, say, in any way it will make them where the actor become hesitant for probing more and investigating how people they use public funds?
We don't see over the years they put these audit reports. We don't look at citizen trust in this matter, the effect of the suspension of the general on the side of citizens. For we need to look into the operations of the current.
You think, say, this getting an effect for letting
Yes,
they become a bit skeptical?
No, the effect where it gets is about citizen trust on this whole process. And we need citizens for trust the process because audit services work for the people of Sierra Leone and especially the ordinary citizens in terms of how they will ensure, say, there is accountability on how they manage the resources, especially in terms of providing services. You know, this now a whole sort of discussion. So for we now, we focus at this particular point is calling on the judiciary, more specifically the tribunal, that it's almost 4 months since the conclusion of the judgment of the case. Let them come out to a judgment so that the people of Sierra Leone will know what will be the outcome of this case here soon.
So wait to know and let the public know and understand in all of this. Is it that una they seek the interest of few people or una just wale a proper precedent be set?
Will they seek the interest of the people of Sierra Leone?
Okay.
Because the work with audit service they do now for the people of Sierra Leone. And as I just mentioned, the past audit reports get a lot of issues there around health service delivery. We're not for the people of Sierra Leone. So we want to ensure, say, one, democracy strive, because without accountability, there will be problem. We want to ensure, say, there is proper financial accountability, and the institution where we expect for do that work there, the one way they do the work there, they are protected from fear, they are protected from non-interference,
Okay.
and they do their work in a transparent, accountable, non-interference point of view.
Kamara, now una don't pull out on a position with other organizations, but again, somebody go ask, una may engage, the tribunal for let them explain you una waiting na the delay for let them give judgment into this issue. Una just highlight now una release.
Thank you. Firstly, we follow the process up to where they conclude the matter in December last year, and the matter we do for judgment. So we all come together. We own focus. Ask them since we can wait for 3 months, and this press release now also way for engage them. let also public aware that this case don't be done since December, and we call on the tribunal for letting them come out with a judgment. So this again now way of asking the tribunal and the judiciary for letting ensure say they come out with the findings, deliver judgment on this particular issue.
So another thought would say before now be reach out or come out publicly like this one, or not be try for contact them and try for engage them. Firstly, for know why the delay of the conclusive judgment on this whole case.
No, another school of thought will say again, why the judiciary not they also communicate since that process, the process done over 4 months to the public on a matter weighing a key public evidence. So we don't communicate now. We consult them. We're now aware of also communicating to them and the public as at large.
And if I be wrong, if not be make the approach in another way, not this way.
Again, this approach will do now also part of the accountability process. We exist for also all institutions accountable in a respectful manner. And this now one way we will ask them and also hold them accountable for let them provide answer as to why up to now 4 months they not really come out with the deliver judgment on this matter.
Continue for day with Abubakar Kamara, National Coordinator, Budget Advocacy Network, where they talk on behalf of SLAG, 50/50 and ILAG for SECA, the suspended Auditor General and in deputy, and they call on a swift judgment following the conclusion of the Auditor General, Lara Telopias, and in deputy. The program, Good Morning Salon, they continue. Usman?
Inside the program, we can go online now. We get Honorable Mohamed Bangura. We are honorable from Karine District, as on know this BNTM get concern. We are going to say them in name come out now the list of the ECOWAS delegation. But for Kano imposition on the line now, at any time from now we will get Mohamed Bangura. But as we producer the try for get online, I call over to you back, Mr. Kamara. Now we understand say and we are aware say EU can play a great role where it can power in national budget. And we understand say there is issues around wherein EU gets concerned. Is it not because of the way how they suspend Lara and in deputy make EU concerned about things that will happen?
The suspension of Lara also contributes. We make up to now we not get direct budget support from EU. Mine is not just EU, a lot of international organizations also get concerned. For example, IMF, we don't even see in some of them agreement with the government, then put some conditions then with them for meet in terms of ensuring that the trial go on swiftly, in terms of government providing a timeline as to how long it will take for them really conclude the case. So that don't tell you say it's not just about EU, it's EU, IMF, other institutions are also very much concerned around the suspension of Auditor General. And therefore, since the matter don't be closed, the swift delivery of judgment will be very much important for the people of Sierra Leone, especially when the process don't drag so much long. They suspend the woman in November 2021. The process not starts until March. The first 3 sitting get issued. They not count the real charges them until June, when almost 7 months after when they suspend them. All I'm concerned that happen now, the tribunal don't go to judgment. The case don't close in December. Now we don't begin to face some delay. So we have respectfully asked the tribunal for let them deliver judgment on this issue also.
I continue for the with me inside the program.
Mr. Kamara, you don't make so many points and raise concern them, and according to a more appropriate for let the conclusive report don't come out so the public will know within the tribunal we fair not on this particular case. With all of the lapses and things that we don't point at, if this call we don't make, we according to it, this are the appropriate thing for do. The tribunal through government not able to come out to the public for noting and fair not on the allegation them we they against the suspended Auditor General and in deputy. Waiting next for the different civil society organization them we get is concerned on this particular case.
Well, we don't raise with concern respectfully, and the effects of further delay on this matter go help for further enroll the trust where citizens get on the judiciary. And we believe, say, the judiciary now respectful institution, we would expect them follow them uphold the principle of transparency and accountability in the dispensation of justice, and continue for delaying the delivery of judgments, go get a lot of implication around justice delayed, justice denied, and more so go also get implication around how motivating women for letting go for public positions then. Because mind you, this would happen, so it also affects women then, especially women then where they up there well take up public positions then. So therefore, they continue for call on the tribunal for let them come up deliver a judgment on this particular issue, because it's about accountability. This now a public matter case where a lot of swelling on them condemn this action where they suspend the Auditor General and one of a deputy. So this now call, and we hope say they will listen to the call and ensure say the people of Freetown, the people of Sierra Leone the people of Sierra Leone really see the judgment, and the tribunal deliver the judgment in earliest possible time.
Plenty thank you to you, Abubakar Kamara, and I name. We don't be with studio guest, National Coordinator Budget Advocacy Network. They talk about a concern we band together with 50/50 Group and also Sierra Leone Association of Journalists and Institute for Legal Research and Advocacy for Justice get for SECA the tribunal process will be gone for SECA the suspended Auditor General Lara Telopias and in deputy, as people go remember again for say inside November 2021, then be suspending people here on the fact or on the basis of allegation on professional misconduct and breach of confidentiality. So ban with other civil society organization, they call on government for come out with waiting at the findings them where they know for SECA this investigation. Once more, thank you, we be with guest inside this edition of the program. Good morning, Sal.